I think I forgot to tell my husband and daughter I was doing this. Hi. So in order to talk to you about why I choose to give to the church, I need to share my autobiography with you, so I hope you'll bear with me. No, it's not that long. I'm not that old yet. So the United Church of Christ has been part of my life, an important part, for 46 years. I was born locally, and this was my first church. Some of my earliest memories are of High Street Congregational Church. I remember coffee hour, and there were poles in the middle of the church, and I would spin around them. And I remember the little wooden boat that was in the children's room, and Billy Shore and I would fight over that boat and row it. I also remember Fred Hayes walking with me around the church, so I must have been very young. My father was, I guess, the treasurer, you would say, of the church, and so on Sundays, he would bring home all the money from the collection plates, and he would set up a card table in our den, and he would count the money. And I was really too young to completely understand why there was all this fabulous money in the house that didn't belong to us. But I would help him by setting aside the quarters and the dimes and the pennies, and there was a table full of money, and it just seemed like such abundance to me. And he would explain that this was not our money, this was the church's money, but he would let me help count it. When I was about 6, we moved to northern Maine, and we attended the Congregational Church up there. When I was about 12, we moved back down here, but at that time my mother was a minister herself of the Poland Community Church, so we went there. And I continued to follow my mother throughout her career. When I went to college, I attended a UCC church in Florida. When I moved to North Conway for my first teaching job, I was UCC all the way. When I moved out west, I attended a UCC church. When I got married in my husband's Catholic mission church, there was a minister from the UCC church there. 2 out of my 3 kids have been baptized in UCC churches. Don't tell my in-laws, but the third one was then given a blessing at the UCC church that I think kind of undid the Catholic part. So it's important to me. When my mother retired from ministry, I came here. We have been here for 6 years. This is a very important part of my life. I always assumed that it would be here. And I always assumed that it would be as important a part of my children's lives as mine. Not very long ago, I learned that the church up in Holton, that was such an important part of my elementary school years, has shut down because of lack of membership. Recently, I learned that the Poland Community Church can't afford a minister, so they're having supply preachers come in, and that there's not very good attendance. So it started to occur to me that what I have taken for granted for 46 years may not always be there for my kids. And I will tell you that financially, I give as much as I can. I don't know that it's enough. I hope that I can continue to give more as my life goes on. But what I have learned that what I can give is some assurance of income. I work in a job where I have a steady paycheck, and I know how much I'm going to bring home every couple of weeks. And I've always been grateful that I didn't have the kind of job that where the income fluctuates. So if the one thing I can give is an assurance to the church that I will be giving them a certain amount of money each week and each month, I've got to think that that's helpful. So that's why I continue to pledge.
Thank you. Carolyn, thank you.